Hey everybody, what's up? Let me adjust that. Here we go. You know, I was trying to do this last night, my Raw review, if you will, and well, my battery kind of died out on me, so I couldn't really do it. I mean, I was doing it and the battery just suddenly died. But that being said, folks, let me give you my general thoughts on last night's Raw, which emanated from London, England. Essentially, I thought it was a good Raw. I thought it was good. They opened up the night with the WWE Championship, no disqualification, no countout match, and it was a good match. It was decent. CM Punk did end up going over after coming off the top rope with a chair onto Mark Henry. And then we find out from Chris Jericho that, well, Jericho will get another shot at the WWE Championship with the consent that it's going to have to be a Chicago street fight. Now, think about that. You think John Cena got a bad reaction at Money in the Bank? I just wonder what kind of reaction Chris is going to get in 2 weeks. Another thing, of course, they set that up, and of course they're still trying to play off and tease off the fact that CM Punk may end up having a drinking problem, which I don't think they're going to go with, because quite honestly, if he ever does end up leaving CM Punk the company, do you think he wants to badmouth it? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to want someone like him to badmouth it. You know what I'm saying? We had Santino taking on, and then after that we had Santino defend the U.S. title against David Otunga, and Santino did end up winning. But it looks like, from what I saw later on in the night, it looks like David may end up getting another shot, and I think he's going to be associated with Eve now. I don't know why. I just got this feeling. Another match we had, as a matter of fact, where's my iPod's over here. But the other matches that we had last night, we had, well, it was later on in the night, but we had Brodus Clay taking on Dolph Ziggler later on that night. That match didn't last too long at all. As a matter of fact, that match only lasted like 28 seconds or so. Brodus won by disqualification because of the interference of Swagger. I mean, Swagger was trying to pull Ziggler out, and that didn't happen, and he got pulled in, so he basically tried to go after Brodus. Didn't work. Now, this got Vicky to get up on the apron, and the dancers, Cameron and Naomi, tried to get her off, and she ends up kind of slipping a little bit, falling on her butt. Vicky, that is. Vicky ends up falling on her butt on the side of the ring after she kicks Cameron away. And this, of course, upsets Naomi, and I'm thinking, finally, they're going to finally do something with Naomi, and that's what it looks like they're going to do, because she is the only dancer so far that has gotten physical with any of the divas in the company, and in this case being being Vicky. So it's kind of cool. They're going to be possibly putting Naomi maybe in a more physical atmosphere down the line. Let's say maybe a mixed tag down the line. We had sort of, I think as the Off the Rope show put it, sort of a UFC-like interview deal with Brock Lesnar, kind of known as Controversial Words. And Lesnar basically came out and said, hey, I'm here. I came back for because he basically said, look, I didn't come back because I missed going through the curtain. I didn't come back because I missed the fans. I came back for business. I came back to legitimize this company. So that was actually kind of, I thought, and I have to agree with the OTRS. I thought it was actually pretty interesting to see that, to actually look at it in that aspect. And I guess WWE's probably, I guess someone on WWE's creative team is trying to realize, you know what? UFC got a lot of the fans to follow Brock there by doing this kind of stuff. Maybe if we mix it in with our material, it might work. And that's what I think they're doing with Brock. I think what they're doing with Brock in this whole legitimized storyline, where he basically wants to help legitimize the company and make it more real than fake, kind of blur that line. I think they're doing that to attract the UFC fans that Brock made when he was in the UFC, as well as bring back the fans and as well as bring back more of those fans that Brock made in WWE that followed him to UFC, as well as maybe even attract that UFC MMA like fan over to the WWE product by kind of using this storyline and blurring that line. That was pretty cool. Then we had Zack Ryder taking on Kane. That was a match that didn't even get started. Zack Ryder just initially got annihilated, and then Kane cut a short promo on Randy Orton. So it looks like it's going to set something up for them at Extreme Rules. I would essentially think maybe a pipe on a pole match or something. A pipe on a pole match. I'm not really sure. Then we also had another decent match of the night. We had, in my opinion, that was Kofi Kingston and Daniel Bryan, and it was a pretty good match, back and forth. And it looks like they're playing up that storyline where AJ still is heads over heels for Daniel, even though Daniel is like, look, we're done, we're through, we're done, we're through, okay? So I guess they're essentially trying to play up the storyline. There's still something there between them, but how or when it's going to be shown is the question. I just pray to God they're not going to go with the whole, oh, guess what? The reason I'm still heads over heels over you because, you know, I'm hoping they don't go in that direction. But knowing WWE sometimes, you can never tell. Now, John Cena did come to the ring to kind of respond to what Brock Lesnar said, and actually said, yes, I am afraid about what Brock could do. And he acknowledged that the end of an era that was promoted for WrestleMania doesn't just mean the end of an era with Hunter, Taker, and HBK, but more like it could be also the start of the beginning of the end of his era. Now, that is something that I thought was interesting. He acknowledged that the fact that he is afraid and that this could be the end of his era. I know they're trying to build that storyline. You see, what I think what they're doing is they're trying to devalue John, or basically push John down so much that either at Extreme Rules or somewhere down the line he's going to get that victory, or sort of that mediocre victory that's going to build back momentum. And you got to remember, we're going into the summer. We're going into the summer, so you're going to have a lot of young kids that are going to want to see John Cena all the time on Raw. And they're going to want to see him winning. So what better way to start than maybe at Extreme Rules? But of course this led to Laurinaitis coming out and saying, okay, fine. You want to fight, John? I'll give you a mystery opponent in an Extreme Rules tonight. In an Extreme Rules match tonight. So that sets that up. Excuse me. Then we also had a tag team match. We had Khali and Big Show, Great Khali and Big Show, literally squashing the tag team champs. And I guess the storyline to go in here is the tag team champs going to the social media and saying, look, we haven't been on television that much. We were relegated to a pre-show at WrestleMania when we should have been on the card. You know, we want opportunity, we want time. Well, they got it, and they got crushed for it. So I guess they're trying to, storyline wise, they're trying to play the fact that the tag champs, you know, don't have nothing to do. They don't have no opponents for them to face, so they can get that TV time. And you can't blame them for feeling like that, storyline or not. And I thought it's kind of interesting that they did that. Now, throughout the night, they had R-Truth trying to be like a black, no offense, black Sherlock Holmes with little Jimmy as Watson. And what he does is he walks through this wall, kind of like Sherlock Holmes' secret passageway. And Hornswoggle was just sitting there reading books, and he's like, what the heck? And he tries to go out that way that Truth came in, and he can't. So, whatever. And then of course we get the main event match, which is John Cena against Lord Tensai. And I thought this was okay, because it elevates Tensai right to the main event status. And yes, Tensai did win because it was Extreme Rules and a lot of things were allowed, like interference by Sakamoto or Hideshi. It allowed interference by David Otunga. So, and this all allowed Lord Tensai to get the win over John Cena. So John Cena ended up losing the match, and I guess even if it was Extreme Rules, it kind of legitimizes Lord Tensai as a main event player, and I guess this kind of helps set up maybe the fact that after Extreme Rules, they're going to be sending him after Punk next for the title. That's what I think this was all about, to set that up. Overall, I thought Raw was okay. Usually when they go overseas and have Raw, like, they always do better. Like, they give them a pay-per-view quality show. Now, we are going to get a 3-hour Raw next week, but we don't know what the theme, I think, is supposed to be an extreme theme. I'm not really sure. Now, let me say this in closing. And I'm going to probably explain a lot of this in another video because I'm kind of running out of time here. But this whole pop, to be honest with you, I thought it was an okay Raw, but to be quite honest, folks, I think this whole John Laurinaitis People Power era storyline is just, it's really getting old now. I mean, I know a lot of people are going to say you can't knock it before you fully let it establish, but come on, guys, it's kind of getting old. And quite honestly, when I mean, I don't mind Laurinaitis being the heel general manager because I know he's going to get his comeuppance in the near future, but it's kind of getting old, and I think sooner or later WWE is going to realize that. So it's kind of getting old already, and kind of feels like the life was just sucked out of the TV, you know, or sucked out of the crowd, and sucked out of me, even when he came out. So I think eventually they may end up doing something that's going to at least, not have Laurinaitis storyline wise be so abusive and so in control. And that would at least make it more interesting for him as well as us for the fans. So, but overall, decent Raw, and that's all I'm going to say. Comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll talk to you all later.